Welcome to the Lightforge podcast. This is ADWCTA.
This is Merps. Hello. Um, we're talking about Arena, the game mode I never play anymore.
It is Arena.
See, here's the thing. I've thought about this before, right? And I was like, oh, this. Oh, god damn it, my camera froze.
hmm?
My cam is frozen.
It's not frozen anymore, is it?
Yeah, it is according to the
Oh
stream.
my god. Why is it doing this thing again? Okay, I'm gonna stop this and we'll restart it. This is why is it doing this
Wait, is
again?
it on your
Freaking
end?
Discord. It's on my end. It's on my end.
Okay.
It's on my end,
Well,
but it's like a Discord thing. Okay. Move your head around. I have to wait for it to like show up. Damn it.
really? No.
This was a problem at some point, and then it like stopped being a problem.
What are you doing with?
Wait, hold on. This is on your end now. Hello? Hello? Nope. Okay. This is not the problem. We are now in a whole different problem. Okay.
We're definitely not at this point.
Okay. Okay. Well, you went offline for a second. Like not for a second, for like a bit. I had to reset this. Um. Okay, but you're back now. Okay, let's do this test again. Okay. Now move. You gotta constantly be in motion, or else I can't test this. Like just vaguely bob about,
I'm
wave
pretty sure I'm
about.
still frozen. Hello?
I can't fix this part. Okay, you gotta keep moving. Why are you not moving? This is
First
not
of all, are
helpful.
you
Just like
there?
just like move
Like, I
left and
can't
right.
hear you anymore.
Oh my god, you can't
So
hear me anymore.
I'm guessing you are talking, but
Okay.
you are not there. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
Okay. Okay, Discord. Okay, Discord. Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay.
You can hear
Yes.
me now? Okay. So you gotta keep moving. Just stay in motion. Like I can't test this when you're not in motion.
What?
Okay, that doesn't work. Alright. So it's gotta be like this. Oh no. Oh no. Hold up. Okay, you can stop being in motion now. I
Oh
think
my
I
god.
know. I think I know what's up. Oh, I redid my setup to bring brand new's computer up here online. And it's making you very blurry. Like you're more blurry
Yes.
than you usually are.
Yeah.
And I guess it might have broke this other part of Discord.
Wait, okay, what you just said it still doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
I'm
Like, I
still
don't
not
know how.
dropping frames. It's like a Discord thing. Like I'm not dropping frames. Um, you know what? I'm gonna test something just to see if we can do it and if it still works or if it doesn't. Oh no. Like I wanna see if we could like stream stuff or if this is just purely a Discord thing. Hold on. We're in testing mode now. We are officially in testing mode.
You guys enjoying this? This content, baby. Content.
Okay, because we did this on Friday night and it was like fine. I think I put the setting back on high, so it's gonna stutter a little bit. But like,
Wait, we're jumping to you streaming
yeah,
D4?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what is
yeah.
this?
Just the testing. This is to test my internet basically.
Wait, what? What?
Uh,
I can't do that here.
Oh,
okay, this is fine.
just
This is
testing.
this is as good as before. This is not that different. Yeah, okay. This
I
is
need
about
more
as good.
time.
If I turn it to medium, this will be fine. Okay, okay. Okay. Uh, okay. I can exit Diablo now. So the internet isn't really the problem. Because I had tested the internet before too by like streaming stuff and it was fine. It's just
Right.
Discord. Like Discord is just
Okay.
having a moment right now.
It's having a
So
moment. Okay,
let's
so
let's hope we can start this over and just hope it stays up. You like you're moving fine, right? Like try to move again. Try to keep moving. And I'm gonna be on the page that I'm gonna be on. Guys, is it okay? Is Merps still moving? Twitch chat. I need your feedback. Because I can't be looking at him right now. It's very pixelated, but he's moving. He's moving in 2008. Okay, fine. Nothing about this is okay. Alright, well this is the best we're gonna get. I think Discord is just kind of having a moment here. This is not a my computer thing. Okay, we're good. We're good, Merps. You don't gotta be doing that no more. You could keep doing it if you wanted to, but
it's pretty tiring.
seems like a workout.
Getting better the more he moves. Don't do that, Owlhead. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Gotta move this back to. Nope. Nope. Okay. 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 We're good. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Lightforge podcast. This is ADWCTA.
This is Merps. Hello. This is gonna be fine. This podcast is gonna be great. Just I have a great feeling about this.
Yeah, there's gonna be no issues whatsoever. We're starting on time.
We're starting on time. Everything's great. We're gonna talk about Arena, a game mode of which I played historically a long time ago, a decent amount. Not too much these days, but just like how sportscasters are sometimes ex-players, that's me. Okay, I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually do have a lot to talk about. They released a new core set, and whenever we talk about the expansion, before we know about the core set, we always say you got to wait for the core set, right? You got to wait for the core set. You got to see what neutrals are coming out, because when stuff is in the core set, like Venomous Scorpid, that changes the meta a lot, right? There are certain common neutrals that are going to really shape the meta. So let's see what we got in store for 2023. We're going to go through the neutrals and we're going to go through the really important class cards, some of which are going to be pretty frustrating. I know I got my complaints ready for quite a few of them.
Yeah, so Scorpion's not in neutral. Like it wasn't last year either, right?
No, yeah. I'm saying if it is in
neutral,
if
they
added
like
it to neutral, deal,
okay.
Right? That's
yes.
If it is in neutral, it's like a huge deal. So, I'm just saying that would be like the biggest bomb.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it were in, that would be like the biggest neutral bomb. And because like if it's just a normal 3-drop, and by normal 3-drop I mean like Basilisk, right? If it's just like a Basilisk, nobody gives a damn anymore.
Yeah.
Like Basilisk, you're whatever these days. But if they were to put Scorpid into the core set, whoa, we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
Huge change. Yep.
In fact, the Panda has been in the rotation for so long that when they first released the core set ones, and I didn't notice the Panda was leaving the core set, I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have to deal with another year of Panda. And then someone told me that the Panda was actually not in the core set, which just means Stormwind has been in the rotation forever. For freaking ever. That I can't even remember the last time we had a meta without Stormwind. But anyway, good news is neither of those cards are actually in the core set. So hopefully we get some rotation, that we get some of those sets coming out for the arena. Because if you remember from last week's podcast and just from looking at all the neutral cards for the upcoming set, Legends, has been released, by the way. So we know there's not going to be any more surprises, but there are a lot of Discover cards coming in, including ones that are so powerful that I think it would get banned immediately. Merps doesn't, but regardless, it's good that the only way Scorpid and Panda and Vizier are going to make it is if they are actually in the rotation. Um, yeah, let's continue on with the neutral set. Just to we're just gonna go over the core set here. We're not gonna go over every single change, everything coming in, everything going out. A lot of things come in, a lot of things go out. It's not it just kind of doesn't matter right now. Like you look at the cards going out, like Acetic Swamp Ooze is going out, Lone Champion is going out, Dark Iron Dwarf is going out, Cobalt Scalebait is going out, Panther is going out. Like, do they matter? Yeah, kinda, but no. No, they don't. None of these cards really matter when they're going out or coming in. Murloc Tiny Fin's going out, Mistress of Mixtures. Like, they just form the backbone of the game you're going to play. But the game, including last year, when the core set first came out, it was very impactful was in the core set or not. These days, it's really not that impactful what's in the core set or not, especially when we have a standard rotation. In those times, what is actually forming the game are those rotations, because as good of cards you're going to put into the core set, they're not really, especially the neutrals, they're not really supposed to, and they don't compete with actual expansion cards. So there are some exceptions. The only two that I found was one of the cards coming in is Royal Librarian. Royal Librarian is the 4 mana 3/4 tradable Battlecry Silence a Minion card that was pretty damn good every single time that it's been in the meta. And this is part of the Stormwind set that I keep talking about, how it has like never left Arena. And you see a lot of the Stormwind cards make it into the core set this time around, and even from last core set that didn't then leave. So there's just a lot of Stormwind cards in the core set right now. So not only is this very impactful because it is a very usable silence rip spellbreaker. Now we have the more powerful spellbreaker that's unnerved and totally okay. But on top of all that, they buffed him. He's now 4/4. So Royal Librarian is now a 4/4 card that is tradable and also silences a minion, which immediately makes it one of the best neutral cards in the neutral commons in the entire game. Not to mention, silencing in general is kind of problematic for Hearthstone. There was this big design kerfuffle, like maybe less than a year after the game was released, maybe a year after the game was released, where the design team basically said, "Oh, it makes everything unfun. We're not going to make any more silence cards, especially not in neutral." And then they nerfed Owl, and then they nerfed they got rid of Spellbreaker. So this is definitely like a design change.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you're just going to see a ton of Royal Librarians, because you should pretty much always pick it. There's not much drawback or downside anymore, and especially if you've just seen the way that Royal Librarian has been trending, that silence is more valuable than ever before. That silence is fantastic. Tradable is fantastic as well. And remember, with the finale cards, tradable is really freaking good. Having that 1 mana that you want to use, in addition to your typical 2 mana hero power, I understand not for all classes, but most classes, 2 mana. So 2 mana hero power, 1 mana tradable. You can get that finale off just by using these like one or both of these to some extent. So yeah, Royal Librarian just shoots up in value significantly because of the buff, because of the way silence has been getting more and more valuable, and because tradable has gotten even more value because of the finale cards. So yeah, good job, Royal Librarian. You are now just one of the best neutrals And I'm not saying it's like a always pick because it's going to go up against some certain class cards which are really freaking good, but you're going to pick this even more often than you did before. And I understand some people thought it was already like getting to be a premium because of the way the meta was shifting. So
Yeah, like this is now an A tier card. Like this is now a card that should be banned. Like that's the level. Like I think should be banned. That's the level that it has risen to. We'll see how much of a problem it is. It's like a vaguely reactive card.
yeah, it's not
But
pushing the boundaries;
yeah,
it's stopping things from happening, right? But
right. But
yeah,
like it's just like I don't know. Like um is Scorpion's an A tier card, right? Would I keep blanking on the name. The 3/2s that gets +2/+2 for Mana Thirst, and Taunt and Divine Shield. Like that's a very very low A. That's like the lowest possible A tier card. Like Royal Librarian's more along that line. But that's all the neutral cards that are allowed these days. All the other neutral cards that go above that are banned or nerfed to hell, with the exception of Scorpid like cards and then that line that they seem to have, which is like in our book, it's the lowest possible A. They just basically drew the line a little bit higher than us, and Royal Librarian is right there now. Like I don't think we can undersell. Well, we can oversell this card and how good it is in any upcoming meta that is a standard or mostly standard meta.
yeah. The count, like man, if you want to count a Royal Librarian, just all Yetis and Pit Fighters, boom,
And then it's only a 4/4 tradable against your Yetis and Pit Fighters, which is still not that bad.
which is still
Uh,
pretty good.
there's really no so yeah, so this is gonna be a card. It's a silence. It's gonna be more annoying than it is gonna be problematic because the swing is only a counter swing potential. It doesn't have a actual swing potential. Um, so it's one of the more in control cards. And I feel like if you go by feel, it's not going to feel powerful, but then you go by win rate, and it's going to be very powerful. Um,
Yes. Well, this is one of those classic cards that prevents you from losing, right?
yes.
Like this, if you're winning a lot, I mean, this certainly could help, right? Like, let's say they would have gotten a huge taunt out,
Mm-hmm.
which may have stopped you, but a lot of the times it's like, oh shoot, this paladin just like double buffed on turn 3 and turn 4 and is now wanting to hit my face. Um, okay, I can stop this, prevent them from just killing me on turn 5. I can stop, this double buff and actually play the game. Right now, we can actually play the game back and forth, and in fact, I silenced it down to like a 2-3 instead of the whatever like 8-10 that it was. So yeah, like I also agree the win rate of this card is going to be insane. I don't think people complain about this, right? For the reasons that you talked about. And I don't think that this is problematic in a lot of sense. And in fact,
I
it's
mean, the
this.
aggro player in you would definitely not think that this is problematic.
No, this is not problematic at all. Please,
Uh,
please, no, this is fine. Um, I think like for okay, because no matter what is sort of the most prominent neutral cards or the most powerful neutral cards in the set, isn't Royal Librarian being one of the most powerful ones like the most okay, right?
Kinda, but like, why do they buff it? It would have been
Okay, well,
fine.
yeah, I
They're
mean, yeah,
completely
they did.
unnecessary. It's just like they're making problems that they didn't really need to make. And I don't know. Arena's basically gotten to the point where before your silences were like supremely effective in constructed and like pretty damn good in arena. Nowadays, arena's gotten to the point where your silences are like just as effective in arena as they are in constructed, if not more so, because you get that push potential. Like here's the other thing with Royal Librarian. It's a common, it's a neutral, it's going to be in every single set that comes out. It's going to be everywhere. You're going to be offered two of them. You're probably going to pick two of them, like 1.5. Depends on how many sets that they release at a time, right? Like the last rotation had like 6 major sets. Normally they have 4. So hopefully they settle on 6 or at least 5, and they don't go back to 4, because I like 6, and I think most people like what they saw in the last rotation in terms of dilution. That 6 really works a lot better than 4. So anyway, Royal Librarian is going to make taunt a lot worse. across the board because the taunt that was going to save you from death now has a much lower percent chance of saving you from death because
Well,
everybody has Royal Librarian.
there's also the buffed Black Knight.
Yeah, okay. I guess we'll have to talk about it. I didn't really want to talk about the buff Black Knight because I hate Black Knight, but okay. Black Knight is back. It's still a legendary card, so I didn't want to talk about it. But if you guys remember Black Knight, it used to be like a 6 mana, 4/5 battle cry, destroy an enemy minion with taunt. And there's a big argument on whether it's the best card ever or it was like trash because you had to hold it for way too long waiting for a taunt. And the reality was that it just ended up being like a vaguely okay card because both sides are right. It is the best card ever in a significant percentage of situations, but you have zero control over what situations those are. And until that happens, you are just holding a pretty dead card in your hand. It's now a 4 mana 4/4 battle cry, destroy an enemy minion with taunt.
And it's undead.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got tag
and it's
now, too.
undead. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was always undead. It now has a tag that does stuff.
Sure. Now something exists to validate what it used to be. But
Yeah.
now what he used to be and still is matters.
Yes.
Let's say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is significantly better than a 6 mana 4/5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is it still like is it one of those brokenly problematic cards in the arena? No, it's not. The power level of legendaries has become insane, right? Black Knight was like a super old school card. So, this is all fine. Like, but it is something to look at because it's a huge swing card. It is a huge swing card. It's also naturally kind of capped by the fact that if you actually play it on 4, when the 4/4 actually like kind of matters, you're not killing a very big taunt. You could get like this swing of like opponent plays like a 4 mana taunt minion, you destroy it and put a 4/4 out. Oh my god, what a big swing! True, but it's recoverable in the normal standard meta.
Yep. They brought back a lot of cards that are just sort of okay / not even that great. And especially for some of the legendaries, I'm surprised they didn't make them better. Like,
Yeah.
if Dr. Boom were 6 mana now, okay. I don't know. I think that's a standard legendary card.
I think
in
people are just going to be
2023.
happy that they're bringing Dr. Boom back because that was like the
No, that's true.
problematic card, and they didn't really have to buff it or anything. Same with Ziliax, right? Like Ziliax was
So Ziliax was problematic.
Yes.
Yeah, like Doc, and the thing with Ziliax is like, it's always got potential to like. Dr. Boom is what it is. It's like a lot of stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of split stats. Ziliax is a little bit different, so I understand if you don't touch it there. Dr. Boom, I don't know, just make a 6. I mean, don't make a 6 mana, right? Don't make a 6 mana, put it into arena, and have nobody play it in constructed still. But it also just goes to show like nobody gives a damn about 7 mana Dr. Boom anymore.
Yeah, I mean, in arena it's still really good. It's still a whole ton of stats, right? But it's not.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's just good now.
Yes.
But
like, is Dr. Boom S tier? I don't even know. I gotta I think we did a math at some point. I think it was just like A, right?
No. There's no way it's S tier.
Yeah, I think it was just A tier.
No, there's no freaking way. Colossal minions are there.
Well, okay, colossal minions are S plus plus plus.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So...
no. Dr. Boom is definitely not S tier.
Okay, I didn't do the math on it yet, but we did it a while ago, and it was like not problematic. So in my head it was not problematic, which means it's probably not S tier. It may be A plus tier, but it's at least A tier.
Would you take a Dr. Boom or would you take a Night Captain?
I would take a Dr. Boom. But it's very close.
Do you think about it?
Yes. I would definitely think about it. I would think about it.
Right?
So yeah, so it's probably A tier.
That says a lot, right? That says a lot. Okay, that says a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's probably A tier. And okay, so the other legendary that came back is Rag. Ragnaros is back, the original Ragnaros. He has not changed, and he is not good. He's just back for funds.
He's just back. Well, he's back because there are some cars that, shout out to Rag as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that they didn't want to just have cards that generate or turn into Rag, but not have Rag itself. I don't know, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the big legendaries coming back. The legendaries leaving are the Avenger people. What do they call themselves again? It's Sir Finley, Bran, Elise, Reno. I know people keep making Reno jokes, but Reno happened very, very infrequently. And when it happened, it mattered
Oh, the
even
League of
less. There we go, the
Explorers?
League of Explorers.
Oh,
I
okay.
call them the
Yeah.
Adventure Club. Um, okay, so that's kind of the rundown on the neutral sets. Like some stuff is changing, but the big thing to know really is Royal Librarian, and I guess like don't be too freaked out when these big legendaries pop up.
Hmm.
The other thing I was going to mention about the neutral set that's coming in is, and we kind of touched upon it when we talked about Ziliax being back. Magnetic is back, or sorry, not back. Magnetic is in the core set for the first time as kind of just a keyword. And in addition to just putting these magnetic minions in, because remember, magnetic was from Boomsday, and so it was a while ago. They also buffed these cards. So the three magnetic minions besides Ziliax coming in is one, Replicating Menace, which is a 3/2 minion now. Death Rattle 7/3/1/1 microbot, still 4 mana, and it is magnetic. That's a lot of stats. That's like more stats than you're supposed to get. War Gear, 5 mana, 6/5 mech, which is normal stats on curve, magnetic. So if you are buffing something, it's a real big buff. And then, probably the most interesting one, Bronze Gatekeeper. Your old 3 mana 1/5 taunt is now 3 mana 2/5 taunt, which makes it a totally, not just like serviceable, but a good 3 drop in and of itself. And then it also has the magnetic tag. So all of your mechs that exist now, especially your smaller mechs, are super dangerous on the board now to these guys. I mean, not super dangerous, right? I'm exaggerating of how much power these things will actually have, but it is one more thing for you to like worry about. And I think that's interesting because they're just kind of making mechs interesting in the game again.
Yay. I don't know. Mechs just aren't that interesting. The whole magnetic thing is it's not really that interesting. I don't know.
It's a
Like,
neutral mechanic.
great.
Okay. Well, anyway, these are in. Watch out for them. And if you're wondering, like, oh, am I ever going to draft these cards? You are. Like, War Gear, questionable, but Bronze Gatekeeper is going to be probably an average card in your deck, even in the standard meta. And Replicating Menace is going to be an above average card in your deck, even in standard meta. That's without Magnetic. So, if you have some mech synergies, they'll be even better than that. And if you have a wild meta, they're going to be super good.
All right. We talking about classes?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go down to classes. We're gonna do a quick rundown of the classes. We're not talking about every single thing that moved.
Just the notable important
Yeah, we're especially
stuff.
not going to talk about the legendaries that moved. A lot of legendaries got swapped around. So we'll start with Demon Hunter. Just go right down the list. Demon Hunter. The big thing that they lost is Chaos Nova. That's the 5 mana deal 4 damage to everything. You no longer have to worry about Chaos Nova. Does that help? I guess like if you're really trying to go for that breakpoint, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I rarely found myself playing against Chaos Nova against Demon Hunter in any rotation, um, but it is a kind of a unique card.
Yep.
Um,
Uh, I think that's it for Demon Hunter.
well, what they replaced it with, we should talk about what they replaced it with. They replaced it
Oh,
with
okay.
Immolation Aura, which is 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions twice.
That's a good card.
It's a really good card because it is, yeah. I mean, it's a what potion was that? Was that a potion? The mage deal 2 damage to everything.
Volcanic.
Yeah, volcanic potion. So it's like a volcanic potion for 2 mana, and it deals the damage twice, which is usually better than dealing just 2 damage to deal 1 damage twice. So yeah. But at the end of the day, it's still just 2 damage, and we can now just kind of consistently deal 2 damage to everything with neutral, right? So it's not like a thing to really specifically worry about for Demon Hunter.
All right. Druid didn't lose that much, but also didn't gain that much. That's really it for Druid.
All right,
We don't have
next.
to talk. Yeah, we don't have to talk much about that.
Let's talk about
Um,
Hunter.
yeah, let's talk about Hunter. I think that really one of the biggest considerations is the secrets that are out and the secrets that are in, because you always want to be aware of secrets, right? So Snake Trap is out, and then what's in is Wandering Monster and Cat Trick. So these are two that you do want to really think about. But the cards that went out and came in, they're not really that impactful.
Hmm.
You just want to retool and just like memorize once again what secrets are exactly in, because all three of these traps, the one that's leaving and the two that are coming in, should be in your sort of process of elimination, because otherwise you can get screwed a little bit.
Yeah. And I guess I'll touch upon it here. Just I'm not going to do this every time, but we'll do it for Hunter. A lot of the cards like this is coming back. Jordan McCaw is back. Jewel McCaw is a 1 mana 1/1 beast. Battlecry, add a random beast to your hand. It's now a 1 mana 1/2. So they did a lot of these where they took classes that had these cards where it says add a random blah into your hand that used to be 1 mana 1/1. They made them all 1 mana 2/2s and put them into the core set. It's not a huge deal. They're very good cards. They were very good cards. They're even better cards now that they have 2 health instead of 1. But overall, in the course of the standard meta, they're not like game changing or anything. But RNG is definitely going up in this new core set. That is going to be a consistent theme. And on the power level side for Hunter, you get Doggy Biscuit, 2 mana, give a minion +2/+3, and it has that tradable tag that gives you Rush if you trade it. Like, it's just a very powerful card. It's nothing special, but it's Doggy Biscuit, but you don't have to buff a beast. You can buff anything, and that is something that Hunters typically can't do. So it's giving Hunter this like extra dimension into its core set.
Yep.
Okay, Mage is next. Mage is big. They really changed Mage. It is the only class that is getting less RNG. Thank God, because Mage was 2 RNG last year. So Flame Strike is gone. That's an epic, but it's discoverable, right? So it's just gone now. And Ethereal Conjurer is also gone. That's one that actually discovers the spell. It's not like a super powerful card or anything, but we're lowering the amount of discovering spells. Cone of Cold is gone. Pyromaniac is gone. Not big deals, except that Pyromaniac is big. And what's coming back in is nothing remotely as good as those cards. Fireland's Portal is coming back. That is no longer a good card. That is like a totally normal average card. Fire Sale is coming back. Fire Sale is the tradable fire spell that deals 3 damage to everything. It's like a Hellfire.
Well, we've been seeing Fire Sale in the meta
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
so
Because it's part of
it's going to
Stormwind.
feel like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the things, right? A lot of the cards coming back are Stormwind. And Stormwind has been in the actual arena meta for a long time. Okay, and then Arcane Artificer is coming back, Flame Guys is coming back, whatever. The big point is that you don't have to worry about Flame Strike anymore.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, and I guess like I'll break the news to you guys right now. Fire Cell's 4 mana. Hellfire is going to be 3 mana now. They buffed Hellfire, and Consecration, which is next in the Paladin, is also going to be 3 mana. So that 4 mana Consecration is now 3 mana. Just that's what I mean when I say Fire Zone is not that powerful. Like, it's kind of lagging behind the power curve of the more recent power creeps.
You're actually paying for that tradable.
Yeah.
Like you're paying for that tradable ability.
And when the hell do you ever pay for the tradable ability? Like, never.
Yeah, never. Okay. Speaking of paladins lost like all of their secrets. I don't exactly know what's left because they're
No,
losing.
there's no more secrets left. They got rid of
Oh
all the
yeah.
paladin secrets. In core, paladins have no secrets anymore.
Well, yeah, in core, but like I forgot if because I haven't looked through like
Oh well,
the
it's going
entire
to
list
depend
that
on
they had.
the rotation, right? So you just don't
Yeah,
know
yeah. I
what.
just mean in this upcoming rotation. Like
Uh,
I'm not sure, but it's gonna be really bare. But remember what rogues were when they first rolled out secrets? You're like, I wonder what this is. It's gonna be the same thing. Because right now, I'm not saying there's like huge considerations, but between so the secrets are leaving Reckoning, Avenge, and Noble Sacrifice, you have to think sometimes. They're losing Outdoor Peacekeeper. That's pretty
mm-hmm,
big, but
mm-hmm.
the Outer Peacekeeper effect these days isn't unique anymore. Like Paladin's ability to neutralize kind of one thing, uh, that was, they had multiple ways to do it already. But what they're gaining are a couple of standouts from way before. So Muster for Battle, which right now is,
Muster.
yeah, I know, a classic. So Muster for Battle used to be the world beater.
Yes.
I would say it was, so hear me out. It was the first card that really made people kind of like rage.
It was the first S tier card.
Yeah, it was like the first real S tier. Like you play it on, and I would say a card like this has to be sort of early game, right? It kind of
Yes.
has to be a little bit early game. Um, yeah, it was that first card in which the Paladin drops Muster on 3. You're just like, God
It
damn it.
doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you had on the board. The game's just kind of over.
Yeah. So and now it's back, and it's good. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's
It's good.
fine. Like it was an
It's
S tier
fine.
card back then, right? Like
Yeah,
nowadays, it's
back
not an
then.
S tier card.
Um,
It's
I
your
think for
normal like A tier card for Paladin, right? Which is good, very good. But
you're happy to draft it nowadays. And then of course you have a buffed Hammer of Wrath. So instead of 4 mana, it's now 3 mana for 3 damage. Draw a card, which is fine.
it's fair
Like
these days.
it's fair. That is a very fair card, right? And of course,
Hmm.
like they couldn't bring back 4 mana Hammer of Wrath because that would be uh it would
Yeah.
be real.
What's that hunter card? 4 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion.
Oh, Mark Shot.
Discover a spell. Yeah, Mark Shot. This is like Mark Shot. Only instead of discovering a spell, you're drawing a card, and this
You're
three
drawing a
damage
card.
can go face.
Yes. So it varies. And then a buffed Grime Street Outfitter. Remember,
Oh,
so Grime Street Outfitter used to be 2 mana 1/1 battle cry, give all minions in your hand +1/+1. Now it's a 2 mana 2/2, give all minions in your hand +1/+1. That's a huge 1/1 buff.
ridiculous
That's a
buff.
ridiculous 1/1 buff. Like I understand if they didn't want to bring it back as just a 1/1. I don't know if I would have buffed this to 2/2. It's kind of scary as a 2/2.
Like
You're
it's very scary. Is it like S tier levels of problematic? I don't know. I haven't done the
no,
math, but it's close. It's like A plus tier at least. I think.
it's real good now. You like, if you guys remember, this used to be okay if you dropped it on 2, and that was like anti-tempo, right? Like that, but you make up for it. And now the amount of times in which you just get away with it because of the extra 1/1 is real scary.
Yeah.
And I also understand there's tons of comeback mechanisms now, but we can't just say that stats don't matter. So this 1/1 I think is going to be pretty huge. So Paladins, it's just real interesting change. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot of like an actual real change, unlike
Yes.
something like Druid, in which nobody gives a damn about the cards that left and the cards that came in. Hunters didn't really. It just keep track of the secrets. Paladins lost some power and some interesting cards, and gained
Paladins
some
gain
power
a
and some
lot of
interesting
power.
cards. Yeah,
Gain like
they
when
gained a
the
decent amount.
secrets are not good, right? Like just the secrets are never good, and all the cards coming back are good. Hammer of Wrath is like an A tier card. Muster for Battle is an A tier card. Hand of a Doll coming back also, that's an A tier card. Grind Shoot Outfitter, A tier card at least. Like, yeah, they lost Aldor, which is an A tier card in and of itself, but they're gaining back 4 A tier cards. That 3 of them are common. Aldor, by the way, was a rare. Like, this is a
Yep.
big power boost for Paladin in the core set, which is exactly what we need in the arena. Um, but it just means that, like, I like it kind of when the core sets are cards are powerful. The core set class cards are powerful because what it means is that they're going to likely nerf down either the core set powerful cards or they're going to nerf down the expansion cards for Paladin, which are even more ridiculous always because Paladin is like kind of the arena class.
Yeah, true. It is kind of the arena class. All right. Let's talk about Priest.
All
Um,
right. So Priest is actually losing 7 cards and gaining 7 cards back, but none of them really matter. They're losing Norshar Cleric, which like it just hasn't been good since it's been back. That was a card that was like the priest card back in the day, one of like the defining 4 priest cards. and it just didn't do much since it's come back. The whole game has moved on way faster than that. And you can't hero power stuff anymore to any effect for priest. So it's not like a big loss or anything, but it does change their ability to like draw cards, I
Well,
guess.
they're getting like the other version of Northshire Cleric. They're getting Crimson Clergy, right?
Yes.
The 1 mana 1/3 overheal, draw a card. So it's not, you can't just heal anymore. You have to overheal. Um,
And you have to overheal, like, do you have to overheal the thing or just any overheal? How does overheal work?
what do you mean?
Like, do you have to overheal the Crimson Clergy, or can you overheal any of your minions, and overheal will trigger on all of your overheal minions?
Oh, I thought it was any. I thought like it was anything.
Oh, I thought it
Is that?
was you have to overheal that specific minion.
Hmm.
I
I
guess
don't
chat
know.
will tell us, and we'll tell you, because that's what we do. We just tell you what chat tells us live.
Oh, you have to
Yep.
heal
So
the
you have to
clergy.
heal the
I'm wrong.
clergy. Yep.
I'm wrong.
You have to heal the clergy. So it's like Northshire Cleric was already not a great card in Arena these days, and now you've replaced it with an even worse card.
Oh yeah, I mean it's significantly worse in that case.
Yeah.
Um, the one card that I think is gonna be a little bit annoying slash problematic. They buffed
A
Shadow
little
Ascendant.
bit.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
They buff Shadow Ascendant in the worst way possible by giving it extra health. So it's a if you guys remember, it used to be a 2 mana 2/2 at the end of your turn. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1. This could just snowball. And once again, I understand the power level is higher these days. It can still snowball, because what can happen is you have more powerful responses, right? More readily
yeah.
available responses. And if you get one of these down with other minions, if you get two of these down, oh my gosh, and they just keep buffing each other, it could just be a little bit too much here. So them buffing it from a 2/2 to a 2/3, I hate this. I really
Yeah.
don't like this. This is dangerous.
This is terrible for the arena. It's super terrible for the arena if you ever go into a wild rotation. This card is now unstoppable in a wild rotation, which is in the standard rotation. Does it matter? It doesn't really matter. That's why they buffed Grime Street Outfitter. That's why this card got buffed. It's because 1/1 of extra like on curve or questionably on curve, like maybe RNG ish on curve stats. It just doesn't matter that much these days. Like think about the current meta. Like, what if I told you we'll take three of your, 2 drop, 3 drop, or 4 drops, just three of them at random, and we'll give them +1/+1 of stats. And in return, we're gonna force you to like, I don't know, put it's 3 Yetis in your deck. You wouldn't take that trade because Yetis suck. Like you would just rather just take 3 random cards that they offer to you. Um, because you want to be building those synergies. That's how you win. You want your chances at the really good cards. That's how you win. You're not winning with Yetis and +1/+1 over curve cards. So that's how they're thinking about it when they're redesigning these cards a little bit and buffing them up. But that logic does not apply at all in any shape or form if you go to a wild rotation. So as soon as a wild rotation comes, like Outfitter and Ascendant are going to be like the best cards in the class. And if they get dropped on curve and they don't get immediately removed, or in the Outfitter's case, if it doesn't immediately have like a whole bunch of like cards that can follow up, like a 3 drop, a 4 drop, a 5 drop, you are in big trouble as the opponent.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about Rogue. And oh my gosh, I have been waiting for this moment. I might actually play a few Rogue games,
Really?
because of. I mean, I say that I'm lying to you guys, but I shouldn't lie to you guys. Um, Rogue got back Fan of Knives. I couldn't be happier. Fan of Knives, back in the old days, even when it was 3 mana, and now it's 2 mana. 2 mana to deal 1 damage to all enemy minions and draw a card. Oh my
Mm,
gosh. Even back when it was 3 mana, there were metas in which I talked about before. I'm like, Fan of Knives is the best card that Rogues have.
yes.
Like in this
Yes.
meta.
And
It's
it was
easily just the best
crazy.
card.
It was
Mhm.
crazy because Fan of Knives has always been overcosted. Like
It
even
is
at
technically
launch,
overcosted. Yes.
you're like you should not be 3 mana. Like maybe you shouldn't be 2 mana at launch, but you should not be 3 mana. And yet throughout the life of this card, it's always been one of the best cards of the Rogue whenever it's been in the meta. It's because when you need to deal that 1 damage to a bunch of stuff, Rogue can't do it, and it kills Rogue. So
Yes.
these days, there's a lot of neutral cards that does that. Bunker Sergeant being the big one, but now rogues have that like baseline guarantee at least of like, hey, we can at least Phantom Knives.
So super happy this is back. Eviscerate's back. That didn't get a buff. Eviscerate is Eviscerate. They got like a secret package back.
The
They have
whole secret
ambush,
package.
plagiarize, and cheat death now. So good for them there.
I
Um,
will say this: they at least brought back the good secrets for Arena.
they did. Yeah. These
Ambush
are
has
these
always
are
been a good one.
they gave rogues like their best secrets. And they gave them ones that I think rogues would be happy to pick from, and you can like create some difficult situations for your opponent. Because otherwise, that's a problem with rogue secrets. If you don't have enough of them, and if some of them are the shitty ones, anyways, you don't present any issues because you don't have to play around like the bad secrets.
Yep.
What's notable, like what's leaving is a plague scientist. This
Yeah.
is big. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably the biggest loss for rogues. Where yeah, they have hard removals, but it's like, I mean, how many assassinates are you gonna have? Plus, assassinates aren't even like amazing, right? Um, but plague scientist really just gave you this tempo boost.
Not only
To
did Plague Scientist gone, Coldblood is also gone. Not that
Cold Blood
Coldblood
is
is
also
at
gone.
all good anymore, but you've just gotten rid of all the baseline rogue abilities to buff stuff. So you're
Yeah.
like removing this element of rogue that they were like, we're just not interested in this anymore for this year at least.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So the one last big change in Rogue is that Sprint is out and Elven Minstrel is in. Sprint just kept getting reduced mana and reduced mana. It started out 7, then it was 6, now it's 5. Elven Minstrel has always been better. It's always been a really good card. Sprint has always been borderline playable no matter how much they buffed it. So you're gonna see rogues be better at drawing cards than they were before. And rogues were never that bad at drawing cards. So this is like quite a significant buff. And Elven Minstrel is not only coming back, it's also getting buffed when it comes back. So it used to be a 4 mana 3/2 combo, draw 2 minions from your deck. It's now a 4 mana 3/3 combo, draw 2 minions from your deck.
Yep. Mm, I don't like the thing with draw is you have so much draw nowadays. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this?
No, I mean I think it's a good change. It gives the rogue more draw. If you're looking at the standard meta, like nothing really matters because your deck kind of doesn't even matter that much. It's just about what your pandas and your scorpions do for the most part. Unless you're mage, then you have like three more. Sorry, three more, 6 more additional pandas and scorpions and viziers in your class. But a lot of the other classes, you still do rely on card draw somewhat. And more importantly, when you're not in the standard meta, when you go back to the wild meta at whatever point, this is going to be huge. The difference between a sprint in your arsenal and an elven minstrel in your arsenal is going to be huge.
Okay. Let's talk about shamans. Shaman is one of the sort of least exciting ones.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Maelstrom Portal, and they lose Tidal Surge. I would say Tidal Surge is probably one of the more important losses. Anything that has lifesteal, and Tidal Surge, if you've noticed, has just become a better and better card throughout kind of the life cycle of Hearthstone. When it first came out, well, first of all, remember when it first came out, it was like 4 mana. So 4 mana for deal 4 damage to a minion and lifesteal was not great. It was then buffed to 3 mana, and then that lifesteal is really relevant these days. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the times when you were pushing the shaman, they either generate the tidal surge or they, just have it and top deck it. Um, it's crushing because it kills one of your minions, life steals, and then you just kind of can't get there. And shamans always have ways to sort of remove and clear and rush, with but they lose that, which I think is bigger than probably what people will think it is, but they gain basically nothing. They gain like really nothing of note. So shamans, it's not like they lost a ton of what made them shamans, but they certainly didn't gain anything important.
Yeah. They lost Manatite Totem too. They gain ancestral
Eh,
knowledge. Neither of these are particularly important. Shaman still can't draw, in case you're wondering. So they'll still run out of cards. They're still the most I'm gonna run out of cards class in this entire game.
yep. Okay, let's talk about a class that matters. Warlock. Here is what they lost.
Oh god.
Nothing. They lost things. You don't give a damn about these things that they lost, okay? You just
They
don't.
lost things that diluted your draft pool.
You do not give a damn what they lost. What they gained, first of all, they gained a great demon package, right? In Void Caller, first of all, that kind of if there's enough demons, Void Caller is pretty good. So you're gonna have to see in terms of all of the pools, right? But in core, they made sure that there is a good demon to go with it, and that's Enhanced Dreadlord, which is an 8 mana 5/7 demon with Taunt, Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 Dreadlord with Lifesteal. We've seen this before. It's really annoying. Um, it's just a ton of stats. The second part has Lifesteal, perfect for Warlocks, perfect for what they want. Mal'Ganis is a legendary. As to how easy it will be to get legendaries, uh, that's yet to be seen, right? In terms of whatever generation there is. Of
Discover a
course, it is.
legendary minion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Um, it is certainly easier today, or not by today, I mean in this next meta than it was in other metas to get legendary. So there's also Mal'Ganis. So Void Caller into like a Mal'Ganis. Yeah, that could be possible. Void Caller into Enhanced Dreadlord, that could be possible. And if you want to push them, they have Defile. Defile is
Defile is
now
back.
in core. Yes, one of the
Yay!
most powerful class cards of all time. Just and like class card that's not like a big legend. We're not talking about Godfrey, right? Like I think that's always
Mm-hmm.
the example of like, okay, if you want to talk about the actual like most powerful card of all time, you're getting into some really big legendary territory.
And
But
those aren't core.
yet, those are not core yet. But Defile has its place among, if we're talking about class cards, yeah, this is like just one of the most powerful clears, most unplayable around, or not unplayable around. Hard to play around without punishing yourself heavily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the problem. You can think about Defile. If you guys remember when Defile was in the meta, you can think about Defile a lot. Sometimes, a few times, you could make the damage such that you don't get immediately wrecked by Defile. Like you would leave two minions low and the others a little bit higher, right? Now, of course, this could all be for naught if they just put the bridging HP
Mm-hmm.
minion out there and then to Defile. They can do that. Um, or you also have to think, well, does this just weaken my board against other stuff too much? You always have to balance that out. That was just really annoying, and because a lot of the times you're just thinking to yourself, I can't really play around Defile. I want to keep this minion around. If they have it, they have it. It's just a little bit too powerful. And then they have it, and then you lose. I hate the fact that this is in core.
This
A
is
card this powerful
terrible.
should not be in core.
It's not even
Discover
the like
spells.
powerful. It's just the swing and the weirdness of it. Like when it came
Yeah.
out, like this was before Hearthstone got that creative. Everybody was like celebrating how awesome and how fun this card was, and I was just sitting there being like, I guess you guys just like adding numbers to like by ones and twos on every single thing that could possibly be on your board and playing. Because this card is a headache to play around. This card is even a headache to play, but it's a much bigger headache to play
You,
around.
you know what's also funny? Your favorite and best neutral card is also coming back, Mermy. And and
Mermaid.
Mermy, first of all, Mermy is now, if you guys didn't know, it's now an undead Murloc, double tagged.
Wait,
Okay,
really?
yeah, it's an undead Murloc.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, yeah, yes. I'm like, well, if you're surprised by this,
My
I'm
bad.
surprised that you're surprised. So not only does it have 2 tags for it to work with, uh, if you draft it in Warlock, it's not just a great 1-drop. It doesn't just have double
Oh
tags.
god, it's a
It
double
is the
defile target.
best defile. Yeah, it's the best defile starter ever, right?
Yeah.
You can think you're safe. You're never safe against defile and the best neutral in the game, Mermaid.
Yeah.
So this is extremely problematic. Warlock having this in core, I'm not gonna say it always makes him a threat because the expansions are so sick right now. The adjustments are so impactful right now, if and when they happen. But defile, it just is not a healthy thing in
It's
any
just
meta.
not
It just
fun.
isn't.
It's 2
It's not
mana,
fun.
it wipes the board. Like even by today's standards, that's way too much.
Oh yeah, it's insane. And if anything, it's kind of even more powerful these days with these weird boards, right?
Yeah.
Defile is great with weird boards.
Mm-hmm. And to finish it off, there's one more spell coming back. It's Spirit Bomb. 1 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion. And your
And your hero.
hero. So
Yeah.
it's quite a price to pay, but it's really good tempo.
It's a lot to pay now.
Yes.
That 4 health is a lot. Your health matters these days more than ever before. If you watch streamers, a lot of times you'll see that they're reluctant to even take like 5 damage to the face in the early mid game. A lot of times that's correct. Like you don't want to take that damage. Even though it's like, oh, it would save a small minion or something. You can just see that the game way that the game is trending. And that 4 or 5 damage in the mid game and how that translates into pressure and significantly less card advantage for you due to that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
People are just getting better at recognizing that, but it's also just becoming more apparent because of the flips involved, the power level. That 30 health feels smaller than ever before, so you just have to hold on to all of your HP whenever you can.
Yep. I want to point out one more thing before we move on from Warlock, which is about the Void Caller. This is the only card that's coming back that is a really, really, really big scale multiplier on a combo. Like the other cards that come back, you get like little bits of advantages if you combo it well. You have like some cards that are clearly designed for a certain particular synergy or whatever, but they didn't really bring back a lot of other cards that really take you to town on the synergy, right? Where it's like kind of a build around card if you are, let's say, in standard, like in regular play, not arena, in limited formats. Sorry, in unlimited formats. It's constructed formats.
Yep.
I just woke up. So Void Caller is one of those cards, which in this arena environment, especially if they keep developing towards this area, although it's a little hard to like think of what they can do in the arena, but this design team clearly likes these kinds of little combos, and they have had a decent amount of success in making these smaller combos like actually work in arena. Like the evolution of these synergy picks has become a real thing, and they didn't change anything about the picks outside of Death Knight. What they did instead was just to build enough space into the overall meta for card draws, for discovers, and for ways for you to piece all these things together to get your combos. And that's where Void Caller can be really dangerous, depending on the meta. Like, really dangerous. Because this is not a, oh, I piece together a little bit of a combo, I get a little bit of a benefit. This is, oh, I piece together a bit of a combo. That's not even that hard to piece together. I get very close to winning the game on this neutral card in a very easy combo to piece together. Like,
Yep.
this is hugely dangerous depending on the meta.
All right, let's talk about Warrior. Warrior lost a couple of like decent cards, but the biggest one is losing Gorehal.
Yeah.
They lost Gorehal. They gained some pretty good cards. I mean, they gained like Sword Eater, just
Warrior's a
one of the
big
best cards
winner.
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sword Eater, one of the best cards that they've ever had, and probably just like one of the best common class cards of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
They gained Frightened Flunky, amazing card, 2 mana, 2/2 taunt, discover
Yep.
a taunt minion. Um, Huge amount of sustain, huge amount of value, fantastic. They lost like Fiery War Axe, which is meh, and gained Woodcutter's Axe, which is
Better.
just better, which is just better.
I
It's a
mean,
better
Fiery
card.
War Axe, I don't know why it's not 2 mana at this
I know.
point.
It
Like,
should be at this point. It's fine. Fiery War Axe is definitely not what it used to be. They gained Dinomatic, which is good.
Dinomatic is good.
It's good.
Like,
It's good.
Dinomatic, if you don't remember, is the 5 mana 3/4 that battlecry deal 5 damage randomly split among all minions except mechs.
Hmm.
So, that's like 5 very precise damage to your opponent's board if you don't have a board. Or if you have a board, you throw your board into your opponent's and kill your side off. And that is the exact kind of thing that Warriors can't do.
Yep. Yeah. So they also gained Blade Storm,
Uh,
3 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, repeat until
okay.
one dies. I
Let's
mean,
let,
it's
let's
a
talk
conditional
about
removal.
Bladestorm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just mean like I didn't mean we actually want to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about
Okay.
it.
Okay. I mean it's an epic card. It is a conditional really big board clear.
So look, those are all the classes. Some are pretty meh. Druid is probably the most meh. Like, you blink and you don't even realize something has changed. Um, some are big changes in terms of them losing powerful cards, gaining powerful cards. Paladin. Some really just lost a good amount. Mage did. I don't think people would mind that. Um, there are big winners as well, like Warlock. Warlock is a huge winner in this
Hmm.
core set change. And I think people they might be okay with that because Warlock has been pretty weak recently. But this is what the core looks like. This is probably the just the most important change, right? Expansions will come and go, but every single year, and this is Year of the Wolf, you're going to see these cards in core.
Yep. The only one change that I think we kind of glossed over or skipped that I would mention here is that Hex has been buffed again. It's now restored to its old 3 mana Hex stays, which that feels fine.
That's fine.
Like we're at the point in which single target removals can just be like 2 mana and it doesn't even matter, much less
It's
three
fine.
mana.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, like single target unconditional quote unquote removal being 3 mana and conditional removal being 2 mana. That's fine. I mean
Hmm.
that's fine. That's kind of where we've been for years.
Yeah, we now
So
have priest cards with like 1 mana, remove most of the minions, destroy most of the minions in the game. Right,
yes.
like deal the attack to its own health. Right, that
Yeah,
card.
the light it burns.
Yeah, and it's a
Um,
really really good priest card, but it's not like a S tier card. Like it's
Nobody
just
complains about the light it burns.
yep.
No. That's fine because once again, it just goes to this theme that responsive cards, even if they're OP, are never as problematic as kind of like tempo setters.
Hmm.
Okay, that's it. Anything else? I'm ready to end this.
Um, no, not that much, not that much else. I guess we should talk about some of the. Yeah, I mean, you guys will see it, right? A lot of the cards got buffed too. Like Savannah Highmane has an extra attack now for no reason.
I don't want to go through because
Okay,
like those things, it doesn't matter,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It
fair.
doesn't matter.
All right, all right. Well, that's core set. Take it for what it's worth. If the next expansion is a standard meta, the core set really won't matter that much. But it's just lurking there. Whenever you get a wild meta, you're gonna start really feeling all these core set changes. All right. Question from the goat. We have another weekend now of Diablo 4. Any updates on your thoughts? I don't want to make this a huge discussion, but we should provide a little bit more on this Diablo 4 thing, especially because we have some time.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go soon, but no, well, look, I haven't played it. I think the general consensus
Oh,
from the
you didn't play
community.
this weekend?
No, no, I didn't play. So,
Oh, okay.
but I mean, the general consensus from the community is everybody's really excited about it. Like, the feel is that the team got it right. Now, nobody
Mm-hmm.
really knows what the end game is, but I think everybody uh, is very convinced that no matter what is going to happen, it's going to be a fun campaign. You're going to have a good time with it, and it just will not be um, the shit show, like the from beginning to end shit show that D3
Oh
was.
my God.
Um,
Diablo
yeah,
3's open beta was the biggest disappointment. And the game turned out fine. And then there was no end game. And then the auction house screwed everything over. Diablo 4 looks to be avoiding all of that. I'm not even just talking, I'm not one of those people that cares like that much about this whole like dark mood kind of thing. But I'm glad that the community is generally happy with it. I do like it better than the Diablo 3 one. But the big thing is that they were so confident with this game. They gave us an entire act. This is a quarter of the game, just like free to everybody. And they're like, we're so confident about this game that we're just going to give a quarter of the entire game out for free. And then we're going to trust you all to spend like $100 and buy the other three-quarters of the game. Because I think, likely, that they expect the end game to be significantly played because they put some things in there. Because otherwise, you would never give away a quarter of your game as any
yeah,
kind of like inducement to buy the game. That's just such a huge percentage. So I don't know what's in the end game. It could be really bad, right? It could have just messed up. But there's gonna be stuff, and the campaign, they can't mess it up. Like at this point, we've seen what it feels like. We've seen how the progression goes. We've seen the itemizations. We've seen like the voice acting and the storyline. Like the story could be shit going forward. They could mess everything else up that they like, can that you can imagine, and it will still be a great campaign. By far the best campaign of any Diablo game. And that's good to know. Because at Diablo 3, after the beta, I was very not convinced that it would be better than Diablo 2's campaign. And after playing through the Diablo 3 campaign, it was like maybe as good as the Diablo 2 campaign, which was like from, I don't know, like so many years before Diablo 3. Like it was like 10 years before Diablo 3. And they just like did not do enough. So I'm glad that this is not going in that same direction. Like this is very promising.
agreed.
All right.
Pre-order it, play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're wondering about your computers, we have our old streaming computer. I have it set up. It's brand new's computer now. It's my wife's computer, and we downloaded it just to kind of try to run it. That's a computer from 8 years ago that was middle of the line when we bought it, and like a middle of the line gaming PC, um, and it runs the game on medium, 60 frames per second, no problem. So this game also scales down to older tech way better than I thought. Like I was expecting that computer to like barely be able to run it at lowest settings. All right, that's it. That's it from us. We'll have one more podcast next week before the big card evaluation stream for the next expansion. And yeah, until then, this is ADWCTA.
This is Merps. See ya.
See ya.